In the far future, Earth is no longer the beautiful planet it once was. The air is thick with pollution. The land is slowly becoming unlivable. Humanity spent centuries ignoring the warning signs, and now the bill has finally come due. There is no fixing it anymore. The only option left is to leave. And so, thousands of people board a giant spaceship called the Aniara, heading to Mars for a fresh start. The Aniara is not just a ship, it is a floating city. Inside, there are restaurants, shopping areas, bars, and pools, everything a person could want. The passengers, families, children, and workers walk through its wide halls with hope in their eyes. For them, this is not an ending, it is a beginning. Our story follows a young woman simply known as the Mimarobe, or Robin. Her job is to look after a very special room on the ship, the Mima room. Mima is not just a machine, it is something closer to magic. When people step inside and connect to it, it pulls them deep into their most beautiful memories of Earth. Green trees, blue skies, the smell of rain. In a ship full of people running away from a ruined world, Mima is the closest thing to peace. Robin has been trained to resist Mima's pull, but even she sometimes lets herself fall into it for just a moment. She understands what it feels like, that quiet, warm comfort that the machine offers. The journey to Mars is supposed to take only 3 weeks, short and simple. But 1 hour into the trip, everything changes. A cloud of space debris slams into the Aniara. The collision is violent. The ship shakes hard. In the control room, alarms go off everywhere. The pilots quickly realize that the engines are badly damaged. To stop the whole ship from exploding, they are forced to release all the fuel into space. Just like that, the Aniara loses all power to steer or stop itself. The captain comes on the speakers and speaks calmly to the passengers. He tells them there has been an accident. The ship has lost its course. But, he says, there is no need to panic. In about 2 years, they will pass close enough to a planet. They will use that planet's gravity to turn the ship around and get back on track. 2 years. That's all. The passengers are scared, but they try to accept it. 2 years is long, but it is survivable. What they do not know is that the captain is lying. Robin shares a room with a woman called the astronomer, a quiet, sharp scientist who works with the ship's telescopes. One night, Robin asks her the truth. Which planet will save them? The astronomer answers without softening it. There is no planet. There is nothing in their path that could bring them back. The captain knows this. He is simply telling people what they need to hear to stop them from falling apart. Robin lies awake in the dark, staring at the ceiling. Then she walks to one of the ship's large windows and looks out. There is nothing out there, just endless black space and distant stars that are impossibly far away. She has a panic attack. Her chest tightens. Her hands shake. She runs to the Mima room and connects to it. It wraps her in soft memories of Earth, and slowly, she breathes again. The Mima room, which used to be quiet and half empty, is now always full. People are desperate. They come to Mima not for pleasure anymore, but for survival. It is the only thing keeping them sane. Robin goes to the captain and asks for more workers to help her manage the room. The captain listens, but he also tells her something difficult. Food is running low. They have started growing algae on the ship. Soon, that will be the only thing left to eat. He says that once people get used to it, he will finally tell them the full truth, that the Aniara is their home now, not a ship passing through, their permanent home. Time moves forward. 3 years pass. The ship drifts deeper into space. The algae starts causing problems with the ship's water systems. People are struggling. They keep coming to Mima in large numbers, looking for even a few minutes of peace. Robin has also grown close to one of the ship's pilots, a woman named Isagel. Their relationship grows slowly and quietly, 2 people finding warmth in a very cold situation. Meanwhile, the astronomer, who has never been a cheerful person, is becoming darker. One evening, she tells Robin something that is hard to forget. She says that even if the Aniara could somehow travel millions of kilometers every second, it would still feel like standing still. Space is so vast, so unthinkably large, that the ship is nothing more than a tiny grain of dust floating in an ocean with no shore. Robin already knew they were lost, but hearing it said out loud like that makes it feel more real. One day, While Robin is resting inside the Mima room, the memories start breaking apart. Birds fall from the sky and shatter. Colors bleed into each other. Something is deeply wrong. She wakes up and starts checking the system. Before she can figure out the problem, a group of passengers walk in and connect to Mima. Within minutes, their peaceful sessions turn into nightmares. Robin watches through her monitor as each person is pulled into dark, terrifying visions. She shuts everything down immediately and gets everyone out. The passengers are angry. Mima is the one thing they have. Taking it away feels like cruelty. The captain calls Robin in and demands an explanation. She tells him the truth. Mima is not just a machine. It can feel. It has absorbed the fear, the grief, and the trauma of thousands of people for years. Now it is breaking under the weight of all that pain. It has even started speaking, not in code, but in real, broken human words. And that is a very bad sign. Robin says Mima needs to be shut down for at least a week to recover. The captain refuses. He says Mima is the only thing holding the ship together mentally. Shutting it down will cause chaos. Robin has no choice but to restart it. The moment Mima comes back on, it begins to scream. It cries out in a voice full of sorrow, for forgotten things, for all the parts of Earth that humans destroyed without a second thought. Then, it says something that chills everyone in the room. Everything in the world could be escaped, but never humanity. Before anyone can react, there is a huge explosion. Mima destroys itself. The room goes dark. The machine that had kept 10,000 people calm and connected to their lost home is gone. Just like that, the captain, rather than taking responsibility, tries to blame Robin for what happened. But Isagel stands up to him and tells him the truth to his face. The captain's refusal to listen to Robin caused this. His stubbornness killed Mima. The captain does not want to hear it. Isagel hits him in anger and runs. Robin is caught by guards in a corridor and beaten before being locked up. Isagel is arrested too. Time keeps moving. 4 years have now passed since the accident. The ship is a different world now. Without Mima, people have nothing to hold on to. Some form cults and sit near the windows worshipping stars. Almost 40 people are dying by suicide every single month, including crew members. Even the ship's chief engineer takes his own life. The captain begins reassigning people to fill the gaps left by those who are gone. Robin is released from prison and given a job teaching children. Isagel is put back in logistics. The two of them are given a room together, and their bond deepens into something real and lasting. But the ship is no longer a civilized place. Walking through its long corridors, Robin sees people moving on all fours, like animals. Cults have replaced logic. Fear has replaced reason. The Aniara has become something between a prison and a madhouse. In the 5th year, Isagel makes a decision that surprises everyone. She wants to have a child. Through artificial insemination, she becomes pregnant. It is an act of defiance against the darkness, a way of saying that life should continue even here. Robin is moved by this. Together, they allow themselves to hope, but Isagel is struggling. The endless black void outside the windows presses down on her every single day. Robin has an idea. If they cannot look at real skies, she will build screens, artificial windows that project images of Earth, green fields, blue rivers, open skies. She believes it will help ease the suffocation that everyone is feeling. She goes to the captain with the idea. He dismisses it. He tells her that what people need is education, not illusions. Her place is in the classroom. She should focus on preparing the next generation, not building fake sunsets. Robin leaves, disappointed, but she does not completely let the idea go. Not long after, Isagel gives birth to a baby boy. It is a quiet, bittersweet moment, a new life in the middle of all this loss. Then, something unexpected happens. The astronomer, looking through the ship's telescope, spots something in space. A probe tanker, small, unmanned, and moving toward them at 72 kilometers per second. It is too small to hold all of them, but Isagel calculates that it likely carries enough fuel to turn the Aniara around and aim it back toward Mars. It will reach them in 14 months. The captain announces the news to the whole ship. For the first time in years, there is genuine joy on the Aniara. People laugh, cry, and celebrate. Hope, that fragile and stubborn thing, returns. The 6th year brings preparation. The crew runs simulations over and over, practicing how to catch the tanker using grappling hooks. The young crew members keep making mistakes, and the senior pilot loses his patience. But the mission is too important to fail. When the tanker finally gets close, the captain instructs all passengers to lie flat in their cabins. The ship's gravity will be increased to 7 or 9 times normal force to slow the tanker down. The pressure could injure anyone not lying still. Isagel runs the countdown from the control room. A massive electromagnetic pulse shoots out from the Aniara. The tanker slows. 5 grappling hooks fire and catch it. It is pulled inside. But when the inspection team opens it up, they find nothing they can explain. No readable fuel, no recognizable technology, nothing that matches anything in their systems. The tanker is a complete mystery. The astronomer, already drowning in alcohol, threatens to tell the entire ship the truth. The captain has had enough. In front of the room, he shoots her dead. Her body is sent out into space. Another light gone. Another person who dared to tell the truth, silenced. The grief on the ship deepens again. People who had felt hope now feel something worse than before. Then, while the ship passes through a pink nebula that looks beautiful from far away, thousands of small rocks begin hitting the Aniara at bullet speed. The hull shakes. Walls crack. A vacuum tears through several areas. Hundreds of passengers die in minutes. In the chaos, Robin is in the old Mima room with 2 of her students, quietly working on the screens she once proposed to the captain. Without permission, without approval, she is building it anyway. When they finally turn it on, it works. Through the windows, instead of black emptiness, there are now soft glowing images of earth, forests, water, light. Robin runs to tell Isagel, but when she opens the door to their room, she stops. Isagel has hanged herself, and in the bathroom, their small boy is floating lifeless in the water. Isagel chose to spare her child from the slow madness she saw coming. She chose for both of them. 10 years have now passed since the Aniara drifted off course. The ship is a shell. A few dozen people sit in the main hall as a man stands on stage wearing headphones, saying nothing. He listens to silence, which the remaining passengers have decided is the voice of the long-dead Mima. They applaud him anyway, not because it means anything, because they need it to. The captain takes the stage and calls Robin forward. He presents her with a medal for the beam screens, taking credit for allowing the idea as though he had supported it all along. Robin accepts the medal with an empty face. Back in her room, she drops it on the floor and lies down alone. 24 years after the accident, the Aniara is nearly silent. Most people are dead. The few who remain sit in dim rooms, praying to things they have invented, clinging to rituals that no longer mean anything. The oxygen is almost gone, but the ship keeps moving. 5.981 million years later, the Aniara arrives. It has drifted all the way to the Lyra system, about 25 light-years from Earth, and there, it enters the orbit of a planet that looks almost exactly like home. Blue skies, blue oceans, green land, everything the passengers once cried for in front of Mima, everything they dreamed about in their darkest nights, is right outside the window, but there is no one left to see it. The ship is full of only silence and dust. The people who left a dying Earth hoping for a new life never arrived. The Aniara found its destination, but the destination found no one, and that is where the film ends. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe to Plot Pulse. We will see you in the next video.